In a launch emergency, their aim is to get a response back up to the crew in less than 15 seconds. They can do this because of a complex constellation of 6 tracking data relay satellites in geosynchronous orbit. They send millions of bits of information back and forth between the shuttle and the hub of communications in White Sands, New Mexico. These satellites, which were in fact deployed by the shuttle itself, can relay the entire contents of a 20-volume encyclopedia in a single second.
John, indicate 51, secondary seal. The secondary seal pressure will stay low like that, negative, because it's a Block 1 engine. It doesn't have a transducer application.
Most of the time, everything goes very well. But then there are those moments where suddenly, and very unexpectedly, you're in a situation where your performance has ultimate consequences.
Flight fighter, you copied. We do need a respawn.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Copy that.
The first night that we had grabbed the Hubble telescope, and we had problems folding up the solar array.
One side of it is bent way over.
That is affirmative.
And we had a situation where NORAD reported that we'd had a breakup of an object in orbit, and there was a piece of material headed our way. If we attempted to maneuver out of the way, there wasn't much fuel margin to complete this mission. And there was the potential when we fired the engines that the solar rays would snap off, maybe even meaning that the Hubble would never be able to be made functional again. My job that night was to get the team working together. Let's get a good track on the object, let's get a good track on the orbiter, what are we going to go do, what's the safest configuration for the Hubble if we have to do this. While we were still planning the activities for the next day, assuming it was going to be completely normal, and I remember in the middle of it thinking, gee, we're barely breaking a sweat here.
TPC-4 is about the same clue will work for the future. What I'm going to do, of course, just for...
Years of planning have gone into every spacewalk, or extravehicular activity, EVA. It's been practiced on the ground, in water, and through computers. But it all comes down to one person in a bulky suit, at work in the void of space. Nothing goes through more rigorous scrutiny than the spacesuit itself. It's called an extravehicular mobility unit, and it's the key to a successful EVA. The suit weighs 135 kilograms, and is only slightly easier to put on when it's weightless. The spacesuit is not a one-size-fits-all piece of design, and fitting an astronaut into one is an exacting task. The suit is adjusted not only for the astronaut's body, but for the mission at hand.
All right, let's start lifting. Ready? Yep. Lift. Lift.
Story Musgrave knows how to wear this $10 million suit like few others. He spent over 26 hours in it on some of the most challenging EVAs ever attempted, including the groundbreaking Hubble telescope repair mission.
So when you're pressurized in the suit and you're in underneath, buried in the bilges of the telescope, reaching way up here to get some little connector and you can't move anything, and the lights go out, the sun goes down. I mean, it's like being held in a crevice in a glacier. But you like it.
Yes, there was 42 turns it took to get this guide set out. I counted. Believe me? No.
It's a lot of hard work moving around in space and working in space. The gloves are pressurized and they're very bulky. So it's impossible to do very, very fine maneuvers with your fingers. Therefore, the tools are all specially designed to be handled with big, bulky gloves on.
Okay, this throws me a lot higher here, Story, than in the water. I think it's going to be all right.
On the Hubble mission alone, 80 specialized tools were developed, ranging from electric screwdrivers to specialized Hubble hardware to make the repairs possible.
Mark, they should come out in 7.5 to 9 turns. And of course, watch for the washer.
Through such efforts, unimaginable a few years ago, NASA's long-term goal of extending our reach to the planets beyond is now closer than ever. We're getting there because of missions like Hubble, because of the precision docking developed by the Shuttle, and because of long-duration space flights carried out with the Russian space station Mir, and because we managed to make the impossible seem routine. In the past 30 years, times have changed in space, yet the pioneering spirit still goes on. A certain amount of personal gallantry has always been required to go into orbit. Senator John Glenn orbited the Earth 3 times in his Mercury capsule in 1962. His return to orbit 36 years later is due to take place on shuttle mission STS-95. He has trained vigorously for the job, and since he will be, at 78, the oldest person ever to go into orbit, his battery of medical tests will tell us much about the future of living in space. After 20 years of work in space, the shuttle fleet is now poised to begin the grand mission for which it was first envisioned, to help construct a platform that will lead on to Mars. The shuttles are being modified for the new job. Their cargo bays are being reconfigured to carry aloft in sequence the thousands of kilograms of material that will be fashioned into the International Space Station. The job will call for 1,100 spacewalks and will take 5 years. From this orbiting platform in the sky will be developed new arenas of knowledge. From here, at some point in the future, the first manned trip to Mars will begin. And it will have been the shuttle, in its long, illustrious role as a space truck, that was indeed the first step.